Hi, international students. My name is Mariana Martinez. I'm a junior here at the University of Michigan, and I'm studying economics and entrepreneurship at LSA. I'm originally from Colombia, and now I live in Miami. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about my top 10 tips to ace all your classes at Michigan. I already know coming to a different country, getting settled in can be hard. So here are just some things to keep in mind so that your academic transition is easy as well. My first tip to do well in your classes is to try to sit as close to the front as possible. Now, I'm not saying you have to sit in the front row, but I've found from personal experience that the closer you sit to the front, the more engaged you are, the less likely you are to get off task and go on your phone or not pay attention. So it's a really good way to make sure that you're taking advantage of your class time. My second tip would be to make sure that you go to all your lectures and discussions, even if attendance isn't recorded. Attendance through lectures and discussions varies in professors and different classes, but I recommend going to all your lectures and discussions because that way you can stay on top of the material and you don't have to cram for your exams later. The third tip I want to give is to take advantage of the office hours that your professor and GSI set for you. So a common misconception is that you have to be struggling in a class or not really understanding something to go to office hours and reaching out to your professor, but that is completely wrong. I like to go not only to make connections with my professor and GSI and start forming a relationship, but sometimes just even listening in, even if you yourself don't have questions, you never know what something that another student says will spark in your head, so that can be a really good way to kind of start studying. Building off of using office hours as a study tool and a tool to keep on track, I also really recommend starting to study early on. At the beginning of the semester, you're going to get a syllabus with every single important date, whether it's a paper, an exam, a presentation. So what I like to do is go ahead and look at that syllabus, kind of try to block some times out. You don't need to block out specific days and say, today I'm going to study for my Econ 401 exam, but just kind of having a flexible plan will really help you become less stressed. You don't have to cram as much, and you'll feel more confident going into your big exams and presentations. And now, again, my fifth tip kind of ties in with the one before. I really like making a study plan when you get a little bit closer to the exam. So I like to work my way backwards. I will usually start studying the most recent material and then going all the way back to what we learned before. I feel like making a study plan is a lot better because it's more structured than just studying randomly, and you feel more confident because you can check things off, like saying, okay, I studied this unit, I can move on to the next one, and just overall help you be less stressed and confident in yourself going into exams. My sixth tip would be to take advantage of other studying and tutoring resources outside of office hours, such as the Sweetland Writing Center and the Economics Online Tutoring. So a lot of different programs will offer you help on your essays, free tutoring, and you can just sign in through Wolverine Access, make an appointment. And it's really good because I recommend trying it out at least once. You never know if you're going to like it or not. Maybe sometimes it's good to just get an outside perspective, or if you're really stuck on something, you just need one person to explain it one way and it really helps. So I know for me, during taking Econ 401 and 402, I definitely use the economics tutoring a lot. My seventh tip to doing good academically at Michigan would be to try to make study groups or friends in your classes. I know this can be hard because you're going into a lecture hall, 300 people, you don't know anyone, but I usually try to introduce myself to the people I'm sitting around on the first day, maybe get their contact information, because even though it can be a little bit awkward, a little bit out of your comfort zone, it's really good to be able to have other people who are studying for the same things as you, maybe can provide a different perspective or explain things differently on what you're studying. And also during those final weeks when everyone is studying a lot, it's really good to have emotional support, which you will get from other people who are studying the same things in your classes. I also wanted to add that getting your classmates' contacts can be also really helpful for other things besides just creating study groups. If you miss a lecture, then you can text them, they can send you their notes. Sometimes professors want you to work in pairs and things, or allow you to check over your answers with other people before you submit. So definitely take advantage of that and try to build some classroom connections. My eighth tip to acing your classes would be to switch up your study spots, especially during midterm or finals week. I know people, I've done this myself, go to the ugly, lock themselves in a room for 10 hours, stay there all day. And while that can be really effective for some people, for me personally, I found that changing where I'm studying every day or every couple of hours helps because it keeps me engaged. Walking to a different place is like a little break, and you don't feel like you're going crazy studying in one place for 10 hours straight. My ninth tip would be to check Quizlet. So obviously this doesn't work for every single kind of class, but if it's a course like social sciences or natural sciences where you have to memorize a lot of things or connect a lot of concepts together, you can search up your course and the University of Michigan, and oftentimes there will be Quizlet sets already available that other students either in a previous semester, in your semester, or in previous years made before. So I wouldn't recommend using this as your only way to study, but it's definitely a really good way to test yourself or start seeing where you need to go from there. And it takes a lot of time off of making your own Quizlet yourself. So you can do this by just going to Quizlet.com. You can create an account and you can save any of the sets that you find. And my last tip, as cliche as it can be, is you definitely have to believe in yourself. The University of Michigan is a hard school. There are certain classes that you might have to take that are notoriously known as being unpassable or no one gets an A. It's really hard. And I just want to tell you that that's not true. Believing in yourself is one of the best ways to make sure that you will do good in a class. Obviously, you have to put the time and effort and study and be aware of what's going on. But if you don't believe in yourself, then you're going to have a negative attitude towards everything and studying, and it's just not going to end well for you. So I personally found that when I took a breath, believed in myself, came back to something that I was struggling on, tried to take it step by step, told myself that I could eventually figure it out, or reached out for help, then everything started going more smoothly for me. That's it for my 10 tips for how to ace your classes at Michigan. I hope you guys enjoyed and learned a little bit something, and I can't wait for you all to become Wolverines this year. Bye, guys.